welcome back to my channel, and I think you guys are going to be really excited for today's video because, as you can see from the title, it is what's on my iPad. This has been one of my most requested videos recently, and it was something that it was always on my to film list. So I am finally ready to go ahead and do that for you guys. This is going to be about my iPad, not my iPad mini, and it is not an iPad Air either. So let's really quickly first, I guess I'll tell you which iPad it is before we really get into the video. This is a third generation iPad, the regular size in black. It just turned on, sorry about that. And it has 32 gigabytes of storage inside. So I do have the, I guess it was the mid-range, because it was 16, 32, or 64 were the options. So that is the iPad I have. And it's the third generation, like I said, has a 30-pin dock connector. Now we've all switched over to those like lightning ports or whatever that are smaller. This was the last iPad before they switched to that smaller connection. So for clarity's sake, I thought I should talk about how I'm going to put this video together, because I'm trying not to have this video take forever, but I want to give you guys a really good overview of my iPad. So the first thing I want to talk about with you guys is how I use it. Second, I want to show you guys all of the cases I have for it, because I thought that would be really interesting too, almost like a case collection for my iPad. And then third, I'm going to give you guys an overview of all the apps on my iPad. I am not going to open them up and explain them to you, and there's a really good reason for that. It would take forever, but I will go ahead and kind of point out what my favorite apps are and the ones that I use the most. So to start off, how do I use my iPad? My iPad, for the most part, as you can see, it's in my clam case, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. For the most part, it's like my portable writer's desk. So I like to do a lot of writing on this. Before I got my MacBook Air, this was like my #1 writing gadget. Like, that's all I did on here was write and blog on my iPad. Now, that was only for maybe like the last year or so before I had gotten my iPad, my MacBook Air. Before that, I used everything. Like, I did everything on an iPad. Back when I had the first generation iPad, I used it for everything. And then, of course, I got the third generation. I was like upgraded, and it had a great camera, and it had Retina display. So I did everything on it. But honestly, because I have so many more gadgets now, it kind of really just gets used for a few things. So I definitely do a lot of writing on it. I like to write on it. And I also like to use this to watch a lot of different media. So I've got a lot of different apps for watching TV, movies, things like that, because I think the big screen is really great for watching movies. And sometimes you just don't want to pull out your laptop to watch a movie. It's so much more convenient to use your iPad. And then the final thing that I use this for a lot is yoga. And you're thinking it's funny, but I have a couple of yoga apps, and you'll see them in a little bit. But it's kind of like it becomes my own little personal yoga teacher. I've talked about some of these apps before, but in case you haven't seen them, I'll go into depth about my favorite ones for now. But basically, I have apps that I sit this guy up, start them, and I do yoga at home, and it's really convenient, and I really like it. So those are really the three things that I do the most on here: write, watch movies, TV shows, whatever, and then do yoga, which is a little bit funny. But I do have apps on here for everything, so no matter what you like to do with your iPad, I'm sure I've got something on here that would pertain to you and your own interests. So that is what I use my iPad for predominantly, my large iPad. And so we will move into the cases for it. Obviously, you've seen this is my Clam Case Pro. This is from a company called Clam Case. I'll go ahead and link them below. Basically, what this is a hard shell. Like, this is a hard shell back here that has a QWERTY keyboard connected to it, and it's Bluetooth enabled. So I turn this on, turn the Bluetooth on my iPad, and it's awesome. I really love this because this case really gives you a lot of options. It's a really good protector. It's really good because it actually gives you the ability to write, but then it goes 360 degrees, and you can use this in any, like when I watch shows or movies, I sit it like this so that it's sitting on the keyboard and you're watching the video like this. When I'm typing, obviously, it's like this. And when I'm not using it, it's closed and completely protected. So this is the iPad case that I use the most. But I do have quite a few others. So let me show you. This first one is a folio style case. I think all of these are folio style cases, really. A folio style case, you open it up. It's got the places for you to keep your iPad in here, and then in here there's different pockets and things like that to store things. This is from Elaine Turner. It's their metallic Indian tile iPad case. I'm not sure if it's still made, but this was my favorite for a long time. It was quite pricey, but I saw it and I knew it was for me, and I absolutely adored it. So if I can find the link to this or something similar, I will go ahead and do that down below, but I absolutely love this case. It's beautiful. Next case I have is from a company called Nico and Lala, and this is another folio style case. This one's great because it actually allows you to sit your laptop in it, and you can actually kind of do a viewing angle thing like that, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, you can fold this around back and just hold your iPad like this in your hands. Yeah, a lot of different ways that you can use this, which is great. And this one actually has a cutout for you can kind of see through it, the cutout for your camera, which is awesome. And it's just this awesome, like, I don't know, like diamond black and white pattern, and it's personalized with my initials on it, which I really like in mint. So I think this is really cute. Look, it matches what I'm wearing today. Awesome. Yeah, I love this one. Very cute. It's, you know, one of the few iPad cases that I really love and use. The next case is from Spec. I really love Spec. They are a really great company. I think they make a really awesome cases for a lot of different products. So I really wanted to try out their case. Again, this is another folio style one where you put your iPad in and you can actually like do that thing where it's seated in different viewing angles and things like that. Folds around back and you can hold your iPad in your hands and just watch shows with them. I forget what this one actually is called, so I'll have to throw the name up on screen, and I think they probably still make them. I'm not sure if they still make this color. This is like a turquoise blue, but it's more blue. So this is more of a blue case. Almost like I would consider it like a tropical blue. So this is a really great case. Nice and soft. I'm not sure if it's leather, if it's faux leather on the outside, and then it's like hard, but it's got like this nice feel to it. Like it's not too slippery, but it's also not that material that like attracts everything. So that's really good. Next case I have for it is an iPad smart cover. I got that when I got the iPad because it was a slightly new body and I didn't know if I'd be able to get any iPad cases for it really quickly. So I got myself a smart cover. I use it a little bit. I really only used it in the beginning and it kind of just stays in its case, and it's the green one, as you can tell. My final case is the first real case that I bought for my iPad, and it is a Dodo case. It is in this kind of gray linen. If you guys have never seen a Dodo case, they're really nice. I think that they're really great. They're one of the first really awesome, like hip iPad case companies. And they've got like these nice bamboo trays where your iPad sits in. There's a cutout for the camera, and it's like a book style. The president uses one of these. Not this exact one. I think he uses just like one that looks like a moleskin. And that's why I loved these to begin with, because they look like moleskins. But I didn't get the black one. I had a black one for my first generation iPad, but I went with the gray because I thought it was a nice color. And actually, I'm looking at this and I'm like, really want to use it again because it's so great. So I might actually slip my iPad into this later. So those are my iPad cases. Next and last are, what are the apps on my iPad? I'm going to go ahead, open this back up for you guys to see. And I have here my background first. I guess everyone likes to see that. Let me just scooch in so we get a good view. This background I'm using for my lock screen. It says work hard, play hard. It's actually something I designed. I'll go ahead and link below to it, the blog post where I have these available. And you can download this for free from my website. So I like to make my own custom wallpapers a lot. So, okay, so the apps. Here's the overview of my page. You can see it. This isn't really going to be a really great view for you guys to see the apps, but I'm going to go ahead and just read them off to you because I don't want this to become super long. So on the first page, I've got my calendar, contacts, notes, maps, videos, clock, music, iTunes Store, App Store, photos, iPhoto, iMovie, Pandora, AccuWeather, it's a weather app, calculator, photo booth, camera, settings, FaceTime, iTunes U. So for the most part, you guys should be familiar with all of those apps. Down below on my bar, I've got Safari Mail reminders, iBooks, plain text, and an app called Manage. So let me talk about these two really quickly because plain text is one of my favorite apps. I said that I like to write on this. Plain text is the app that I use on my iPads and on my iPhone to write, and I sync it with my Scrivener. I've got a whole blog post about it. I think it's amazing, and it syncs through Dropbox. So I will leave that information below for you guys if you like to write or leave notes for yourself on your iPad as well. Manage is like a to-do app that I bought a long time ago, and I basically never use it. It just is like a to-do list. Second page, Netflix, IMDb, news. This is a like a folder. Inside it's got HuffPost, Pulse, Xfeed, NPR News, Macworld, and Mashable. So those are news apps for me. Next is a file called Lifestyle. I've got Cool Hunting, Air Video. Air Video is something that I think it's obsolete now because there's like AirPlay, but that thing where you can sync what your screen is on your iPad to like a TV or a computer or something like that. So Cool Hunting, Air Video, eBay, TV Remote for Xfinity, Zillow, that's a real estate app, Stumble Upon, awesome website, has an app as well. Epicurious, that is like a recipe app. Voxer, it's like, oh God, that was popular a few years ago. I don't use it ever. It's like you can have like walkie-talkies with people through your iPad. The IKEA catalog, because I love IKEA. ABC, their watch app. IM Plus, which is a really great IM app for people who have multiple different sorts of accounts, like Yahoo and Google and all different accounts. I don't know if I think iMessage now like probably integrates most of those now that I think about it, but whatever. And then Apple Store. So that's like if I want to make a appointment at the Apple Store. Next, Facebook, self-explanatory. Then I've got a file called Action Games, where I've got Game Center, Dungeon 2 HD, Enosia 3, Pocket RPG, Touch Hockey, and Tetris. So these first couple ones are like RPG games. If you know anything about me, you know I like World of Warcraft, or at least I played it for a long time with my husband. And yeah, so these are like all similar like RPG style games for iPad. And then Touch Hockey is like an air hockey for your iPad, and Tetris, everyone knows what Tetris is. Next, puzzle games. Angry Birds, Bubble Snap, Fireworks Toy, Jenga, HD, Labyrinth 2, Sudoku Tablet, Splodes. I love Splodes. That's like one of my favorite apps that are games. Osmos HD, that was like when the iPad first came out, that was like the creme de la creme of iPad apps. Is still considered, I think, probably a classic. Then Treasure Seekers, Words HD, The Stone, Venice Mystery, Pop Words, and Bejeweled. So the Venice Mystery, The Stone, and Treasure Seekers is one of my favorite types of games for my iPad, and it's those sorts of like, almost like mystery sorts of discovery adventure games that include a lot of puzzles. So I really like things like that. Back to my screen. Flipboard. Magic Piano, which I love Magic Piano because I can play some of my favorite songs using Magic Piano, and that's awesome. Next file is writing tools. I've got Adobe Ideas, Notepad Pro, Pages, Bamboo Paper, Moleskine, iDo Notepad, Dropbox, Pad and Quill, DocScan HD, Notebooks, and Penultimate. Penultimate was super popular back when the iPad first came out. I can't say that I use it very often. Notebooks, same thing. In 2010, it was all the rage for note-taking apps, but things have changed. DocScan HD, though, is an app that I really do love. I use it more on my iPhone, but it's the app that I use to like scan documents by taking pictures of them, and it like can save them at high resolution, like PDFs and things like that, which is awesome. Everything else here, I pretty much don't use. Other than Dropbox. But because I'm a writer, you know, and I did use my iPad for a lot of writing different things a while ago. So I used to love testing out different writing or note-taking apps on my iPad. But most of them have gone to disuse. I could probably delete most of them. Next, Flickr Studio. That is an awesome app for Flickr. This was out before I think Flickr even had an app, but I still prefer the Flickr Studio app to the regular one, so I keep it on there. Newsstand, I do subscribe to a couple of different magazines. Zinio is another magazine subscription. I also subscribe to magazines in there. I was using Zinio before Newsstand came out, so that's why I have both. Zite is another app similar to Flipboard. Instapaper, I think that one's a pretty popular one that people have heard about. It's basically, I kind of, again, got into disuse, but before Apple gave you the option in Safari to have like a read it later for your web pages and things like that, that was like the app that would save articles and things like that for you to read later offline. Blogsy, I've talked about Blogsy before. It is the app that I use to blog for my iPad with. I've also got WordPress because my blog is in WordPress, but I don't like using that. Google+, YouTube, and Messages. People know what those are. The last page, Kindle, Nook, Kobo. Those are all book readers. Astrologist Pro is like an astrology app for your, so you can get your astrological updates. Pocket Pond is just a little koi pond. I always thought that was cute. Brain Zen Meditation, another one of my favorite apps. I use it for relaxation. It basically just creates like natural sounds and like something with like reverberations and like Zen. I don't know. It's just the kind of app that I'll use when I have a headache. I put it on and the music kind of soothes me. Zenbound 2, that's another game. Why it's not with the games, I don't know. I think it's because I like the app icon. It's pretty, but it's another game that's like Zen and very like slow paced and methodical. Tarot HD, it's just like tarot cards on your iPad. iZen Life, I think that creates like one of those little Zen gardens for you to mess around with. Okay, so Yoga HD, that's the next one. That was my favorite yoga app. My new favorite yoga app is down here. But basically, it is an app that you can download and has all different, default and then like customizable yoga sessions and routines for you to do at multiple different levels. And I think it's pretty comprehensive. I still refer back to it, but I do use another yoga app more now. Next is Instagram, my favorite. Next is a file photography that I really don't use these too often because I do most of my photo editing on my iPhone. But I've got TTV Basic, Popsicolor, Bokehful, Pic Collage, Vintique, and PicFrame. This isn't even nearly all of the photography apps that I use on my iPhone, but it's just some that I had on here. Next is Pinterest, Twitter, Paper by 53. This was an awesome app. It is still an awesome app. I still use it every once in a while. It is a great like note-taking app on your iPad that's also like great for like making doodles and things like that. It's a beautiful, beautiful app. If you've never seen it, you should look into it if you're someone who likes to write or sketch on their iPad. Next is Yoga Studio. That is the one that I love the most. I actually got it for free from an iTunes Pick of the Week at Starbucks, which was awesome. But it's a nice, clean, clear yoga app that does routines. It just walks you through the routines. And you've got someone there, like literally in the, in like a program that's walking you through how to do yoga and all the positions. And I really love it. Next is Bloglovin. Follow me on Bloglovin. I will pop something up or put a link in the description. If you use Bloglovin, you should be following me and my blog on Bloglovin. NoteSuite, it's another note-taking app. It probably belongs in the writing folder, but it was something that I had probably in like the last year, I was probably writing an article for something, and I was trying out some new note-taking apps. Then there's the Xfinity TV To Go app that has everything that I'm subscribed to on my Xfinity, which is my cable television. I can get like all the shows if they're on demand. And then App Shopper, I love that app for finding finding new apps, discovering new apps that are on sale or cheap or inexpensive. So I like to use that app for finding new apps. Okay, so that is what's on my iPad. I think that was pretty thorough. And we're going on to 20 minutes now, so I am going to leave you now. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I leave links down below in the description box for anything I mentioned, links to where you could buy the cases or links where you can find things like the pictures like on my iPad. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was highly requested. I'm sorry I wasn't able to like give you guys peeks at every app, but for the most part, everyone knows what most of these apps are, and you can very easily just search for them in iTunes. So I will leave it at that. But of course, please make sure you give this video a like. I expect you to give this video a like if you're someone who requested it. There was a lot of you that requested it, so please make sure you give it a like. And of course, leave me a comment if you have any questions, and subscribe. I am going to do a What's on My iPad Mini a little bit further down the line because I don't want to put them up back to back. And I do use my iPad Mini differently than I use my regular iPad. So you're going to see a couple of different apps that I use more frequently, and it has a different use. And of course, I have a whole collection of iPad Mini cases as well. So you want to stick around and subscribe for that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Until the next video, bye-bye! Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today's video, I am going to be talking to you guys about a subject that I've been thinking about a lot.